Dojan! Welcome in, everybody. I am Vicariously Jambi, and today we will be talking about Garden of Sinners, Chapter 7, with Dakota Redheart in just a jiffy. Ads are about to roll in, so that's well-timed, I guess. We get to call Dakota real quick, and we'll get into yapping.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
How you doing? What were you saying, by the way? Right after your starting soon screens and ads started.
It was well timed that I started streaming as soon as the ads were rolling in. So it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wait for the ads. Well, the ads were taking a while to load in. Start stream. Oh, here's the ads. They're starting. God damn it.
Yeah, I was just like, you were like, the starting soon was pretty long, like no ads. I'm like, oh, now there's an ad. Thanks, Twitch.
Seriously, I like this. Like that's what I was waiting for too.
Or I think there's like a button where you can like automatically start the ads, and if you do it like every hour, you can like prevent ads from playing for like an entire hour.
I might look
So like
into that.
some people basically set a timer, so every hour they push the ad button. So that way there would be like 3 minutes of ads, and then chat would be able to watch stream ad free for an hour.
Oh, that's actually handy. I actually might look into that now.
You just gotta like add the like button in your like Twitch taskbar thing. I could show you how to add it one day.
Okay, one day in the future.
Mm.
So Garden of Sinners, Chapter 7. Well, what was it called again? The Murder Case Files B?
Yes, and then like a extra title, but it doesn't really matter.
Yes. So, technically speaking, and we're gonna get into the fat of the episode in just a bit, but like technically speaking, we are finished with Garden of Sinners. Technically, because we did get the happy ending, and there isn't technically quote unquote new things for it because everything else is going to be flashbacks prior to the events of chapter 7. So we got like little filler episodes, I guess you can say. Um
Looks like we have like filler, an actual episode, and then filler again. So technically only like one real episode.
yeah, because chapter 8 is the epilogue, but if I remember
Hmm.
correctly, even the epilogue is a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
And
Show loves flashbacks.
oh yeah, especially in chapter 7 where we get context to how Shiki got into that accident where she ended up in her coma for 2 years and everything that kind of set off the events of the entire series. I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. But I tried looking up as well, but like there's like a consensus of okay, so there's this guy who I often watch anime shorts for, and he popped up on one of my recommendations because I was looking up Garden of Sinner songs, and he was very inaccurate with this particular short, which is kind of interesting because he's often on point. Because like first of all, he says, "Oh, this is a Tsukihime spin-off," and I'm like, "No, it's not. Garden of Sinners came way before Tsukihime. Just like Tsukihime was like early 2000s, whereas Garden of Sinners came out in literally 1996. So not quite sure where he got that information from. And then on top of that, he was like, Garden of Sinners is a 7 short movie episodic series. I'm like, you're missing the epilogue though, so technically it's 8. So, and even then you got like the other like flashback filler stuff as well. So like you're kind of missing that as well. And oh yeah, and the fucking comment section was ratioing him as well. So it was like, yeah, like he was like not accurate on most of what he was saying. So I was like, which, like, again, like, I've watched this stuff before, and normally he's on point, but for some reason, this particular video on Garden of Sinners is like
Really inaccurate.
very inaccurate. Like, it's like, but it's like,
How long has he been making content? Because I know there are some YouTube channels that have just been doing like using AI, and then it's just like it's inaccurate as fuck.
several years now, actually. Like, he's always like live facing as well. So like you see his actual face and everything. Then he does like edits to show off like pictures of the series that he's talking about. And then again, he was just like off base. Like, he's not wrong to assume it could possibly be considered a Tsukihime tie-in, but at the same time, you're like, chronologically speaking, Tsukihime came years after the events of Garden of Sinners, and then on top of that, you can even argue that that Witch of the Holy Night visual novel. I'm always gonna get those two confused. The visual novel Witch of the Holy Night is a prequel to Garden of Sinners because Toka is the main antagonist in that series. So it's like, I don't know. He was just, like I said, off base a lot, and then he just gets ratioed in the comments.
It's funny to think of Toka as a villain. Like, I don't want to say she has a very laid back personality. Like, I don't want to say she's lazy, but you know what I mean. She's just kind of like her as a villain. It's kind of funny,
right? That's why I'm kind of curious of getting into the Witch of the Holy Night visual novel and see why she is the antagonist. Well, she's the antagonist because her younger sister is made the heir to lead their magical clan, basically. And it's kind of referenced again in Garden of Sinners, where she basically got usurped by her sister. There was an offhand comment by like that Mr. Top Hat guy in regards to Toka's character and everything. So I'm really curious of like what happened exactly in Witch of the Holy Night that caused her to go from being a bad bitch antagonist to I'll give you the week off but no pay.
Maybe after she lost, she just realized, you know what, fuck it, I just don't give a shit about anything anymore. I'm just gonna go chill.
I'm thinking
that's why she's just so laid back. I just don't give a fuck. What's the point?
I'm thinking that too, but I'm really curious, like, what happens in Witch of the Holy Night. That she goes from heel to face in like one series, and then she becomes not like an integral main character throughout the rest of Kanoku Nasu's works, but is like really close to it because she's like almost a reoccurring character in some regard in a lot of his other extended media, like Fate Extra. Fate Extra is an alternate reality that's basically like set within the Matrix on the moon. Long fucking story there. Anyways, and she's
basically like the Nick Fury.
Kinda, yeah. Like, you know that picture of like Toka with blue hair that I sent you? Like, that's Fate. Yeah. That's Fate Extra. That's her.
Okay. In the alternate universe, in the Matrix on the moon.
Basically, yes. That's her there. Whereas she becomes a reoccurring character every now and then, depending on like what specific media you're looking at. Like, for example, like the Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blades Work series that we're watching. I think we should watch the Heaven's Feel arc. I don't know if we should watch that though specifically because that's there's like so much to fucking unpack because like you have to watch Fate Zero to get context to go into Fate Stay Night, and then Fate Stay Night gives you further context but alternate ending for the Fate Unlimited Blade Works route, which is what we're watching right now. And the Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel movies are beautifully well done. Like, I've seen like clips of like animation and like the hair flowing of like physics and everything like that, and particle effects. It's gorgeous. Like, I was so like amazed with how well Ufotable did like a lot of the animation. Like, basically 10-year difference between Garden Sinners to those movies, which I think were like back in 2017, 2018, and 2019 respectively. So quite literally a 10-year difference between those movies and Garden Sinners. And I was so enthused and like awed with the animation style, or animation improvement, I guess you can say, that my girlfriend at the time was actually jealous that I was giving so much praise to like an animated scene. Yeah, it was a weird argument that night, not gonna lie. But I like wonder if I can actually find like one of the gifts of what I'm talking about. Like, so Fate, Stay Night, Heaven.
Isn't there like a word for like anime scenes where the animation is super fluent?
Fluid, I think is the word you're looking for.
No, there was like a specific like Japanese word where basically like the whole show is just kind of like normal, and then there's just like one scene that's like incredibly overly animated where it's like, holy shit, that's where all the budget went.
Oh, shit, what is it called? I know what you're talking about, but it's like
there's like a word for it.
There is a word for it. Like, I cannot think of the word though. It's like,
yeah,
it's a budget increase. Like, they like, you know, like, I know what you're talking about because in Naruto, when I was watching Naruto back when I was young, like, I would notice like certain scenes seemed little like lackluster in terms of like fluidity of animation. But then suddenly when it gets to those epic badass boss fight scenes, like, you can see like where the like effort is put into. But like, yeah, here's like an example of like the Heaven's Feel scene. Where like, look at that. That is gorgeous. Particle effects, the waving of hair and shadow and gust of wind and everything. I like, look at that, the zoom in on the eyes. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Like, I really want to watch those movies now. But yeah, what is that word though? Like, I'm pretty sure it's just like a budget increase because like literally.
Yeah. Like, I only know of the word because like a bunch of like 2010s cartoons are basically the creators watched a lot of anime, so they've been like slipping that stuff into like American cartoons too. That's where like I heard of it, where they just like overly animated scenes is like it's like really cool but kind of out of place. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, it like is like Naruto, for example. Like, yeah, like it's kind of dated a little bit because like the animation itself started in like the late 1990s, early 2000s, and then but it got brought over in like the early to mid 2000s. So like there were scenes that felt little like when you were a little kid like me watching it, like you wouldn't like really notice or give a shit about it, but like you would notice a sudden shift in atmosphere or tension where it just literally there like something got like there was a switch that happened and like it came out fucking nowhere half the time. Wait, what is that fucking word? It's like over animation? No, like it is a budget increase.
I feel like it starts with an S, but I don't know what the word is.
Shonen?
Is it Sakuga?
Sakuga.
I don't know if I'm making shit up.
That doesn't sound familiar. Sakuga.
Sakuga animating. I am right. Sakuga. Highly impressive and dynamic animation, especially during action sequences. Sakuga.
Right. Okay. Can you like send me a
Yeah,
screenshot of like
like a
what
Sakuga.
like can you send like a screenshot to like all of that in in Messenger real quick because I want to see like that word and definition for myself. Sakuga.
See.
Sakuga. But yeah, and that's actually the beautiful thing about Ufotable, because like their entire animation style is in Sakuga. Like it's crazy how well in depth into detail they do that. Everything looks like that style. That's one of the reasons why Ufotable is so beloved. That whenever they do Sakuga scenes, like you can barely notice the difference between like a regular scene to those overly animated scenes. I think the only time that you can tell the difference between those scenes is in Demon Slayer. And that's mostly because Demon Slayer has a special sword fighting technique that needs the utilization of over animation to express the fluidity of their movements when they're swinging their swords. Because like the main character Tanjiro has a water fighting style, water sword style.
Here's the image. Sorry, the first result is Google AI, but I'm pretty sure it's accurate.
In the world of anime, Sakuga generally refers to sequences of animation that stand out due to their exceptional quality. Yep, okay. Yep, that fits the bill. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I knew it started with S. I just was like worried I was gonna mistaken it for Suika, which is like the watermelon game.
It was actually funny because, like, you know, that's the watermelon game, but Suika also means watermelon in Japanese.
Yeah. That's why it's called Suika game. It's literally just watermelon game.
Watermelon game. I know this because Kamen Rider Gaim is a Kamen Rider show that fixates with a fruit aesthetic. And so there's like a form the main character transforms into called Suika Arms, where a giant fucking watermelon like bounces on his head and like he turns into like a mech. It's fucking awesome, and the mech blade for it too is like watermelon blades, but like they're really fucking cool. Actually, I wonder if I can find like a gif of that real quick, because like it's really fucking badass.
I don't know much about Kamen Rider, but like I saw someone talking about how there's like a Kamen Rider season that's just based on Namco games, and there's like a Pac-Man villain and his design just kind of goes hard, and I don't know why.
That is Kamen Rider X-Aid.
But yeah, like the guy with the evil Pac-Man mask is like, that's actually kind of a really cool mask with like the white tux. I think he had like a white tux, right? I don't remember. I don't remember about Kamen Rider.
I think he did. I don't know.
Evil Pac-Man is just such funny.
Just random Kamen Rider gif. Yeah,
He's scared.
Oh no, that's cringe.
Oh.
You can even see
he's cringing.
Yeah, you can see all the other Kamen Rider like mimicking like the same motion as well. I even know what scene that's from too. It's from like the Showa versus Heisei Kamen Riders, where because like for the longest time Showa era Kamen Riders had like 15 OG Kamen Riders, but then when they went to the Heisei and they finally reached 15 Kamen Riders of their own, by the time they got to Kamen Rider Gaim, they decided to do Showa versus Heisei Riders, which was honestly, the opening of the movie is like so fucking surreal but so fucking baller at the same time. But it's an example of so much plot-induced stupidity, because there's a Kamen Rider named Kamen Rider Kabuto, and his main thing in his show is like super speed. So like imagine like the Japanese equivalent to like the CW's for the Flash, except maybe a little bit better depending on your perspective of it, because it's like a bunch of like armored Power Rangers hunting down aliens that shapeshift into other human beings. So like it's like investigation, thriller, alien invasion kind of shtick. It was like it's really fucking cool. But yeah, he's like super fucking fast, and you even see it in the opening of Showa versus Heisei Riders, where like he's like beating the shit out of like everyone, and then for whatever reason his super speed like wears off, and then like he gets got, and I'm so fucking pissed about that. And at the same fucking time, we had something similar to this already happen, and fucking Decay in Kamen Rider Decade, because you know he's called the Destroyer of Worlds, and he creates the his existence and danger alone to like the Kamen Rider multiverse is so severe that every single Kamen Rider up until that point in existence all pretty much form an alliance to try to kill Kamen Rider Decade, and he kills them all single-handedly. Like, bro. And it's like, it's not even a fair fight, technically, because you have Kamen Rider Decade, but, like, this is why I hate plot-induced stupidity so much, because, like, you had this done before, but now you have the one guy that can single-handedly kill all Kamen Riders come up and get killed by somebody he's killed before in the past. Like, what the fuck? I hated that so much. Like they did my favorite Kamen Rider dirty, and they kept on doing him dirty too up until the last Heisei Rider series called Zio, where basically he's like a very supportive secondary main character, accidentally secondary main character too. But they do him more justice in Zio, where like he even taunts like these time traveling antagonists, like you need time machines to go to the past. Then he goes through his time travel multiversal dimensional rift portal and is like, see you later. Like, oh, they like it. Oh man, we really need to watch that together, so you like get context of like how cool this character is for me. But yeah. So anyways, on back into Garden Sinners, we originally I thought it was going to be chapter 7 was going to be a flashback episode, but it was not, predominantly speaking.
It was a normal episode with flashbacks.
Normal episode with flashbacks that create some context that fill in some gaps of certain character interactions, like how Shiki got into her accident and slipped into a coma, and Araya's intervention that inadvertently saved Mikia's life. So that's an example of Deus Ex Machina, by the way.
Yeah. Is he just like spying on Shiki her whole life or something, and just was like, yo, I'm just here to pop in to say this is fucking cringe, stop it, and then leaves?
Basically, that's how I got what I got from that as well, because so like
I felt like maybe it would have made more sense if he just like threw her into a car.
Like, I think that would have been better too, especially since his whole plot plan back in Paradigm Paradox
Was to give her powers.
was to give her the mystic eyes of death perception. So that would have made sense if he was the one. Well, yeah, no, yeah, it would have made sense if he was the one that
just
threw her in there.
Throw her in a car.
Yeet.
And then Thanos teleport out of there.
Yeah, it's just he was just there to make sure that Mikia doesn't get killed. Yeah, it was like really weird and kind of like lackluster. And then it was very heartwarming because like of her dual personality, where like one side of her wants to kill Mikia, the other one doesn't. And so it's like very sad. Almost like a.
They could have also just had him just there in the background, like she could be like, "Oh shit, witness," and then run.
Yeah, something like that.
Instead of him walking out of a portal, like, "Holy shit, magic's real."
Okay, so here's the thing about this, and it's not quite stated from what I remember, but Shiki is from a family of assassins. I know that for
Damn,
sure.
Final Destination ad.
Oh no, the Final Destination. But yeah, basically, Shiki is from a clan of assassins. Basically, that's
Hmm.
why she's able to fight the way she does. Is
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean she believes in magic. Like maybe her family talks about magic, but she has no like visual proof that it exists until she like meets Toka.
Yeah, to a degree, but it's really hard because like whenever there's like some sort of like supernatural phenomenon or something like out of the ordinary, like oh, a clan of assassins in this day and age, there's always like going to be bound of some kind of causation correlation between one another.
Hmm.
This happens similarly in the Tsukihime series, where another Shiki with also mystic eyes of death perception is from. I don't know how much of this I can spoil if we ever get into it, but he's from a clan of demon hunters,
Hmm.
and a prestigious royal family of demons comes into his like uh clan neighborhood. And I don't know if you've seen Naruto, but they basically get Itachi'd, basically.
I've never seen any anime Jambi.
God damn. So okay, so in Naruto there's this clan called, and my cat is in jackass mode because she just
Oh no.
she ran head first into the cupboards. Why, cat?
Is she an orange cat or have like orange cat relatives? Maybe that's why.
You've seen her before. She's a gray tabby.
Oh yeah, she's great. Yeah, but does she have orange cat relatives? Maybe that'll explain the goofiness.
I don't know what she has. She has like so many interesting, distinct markings from like different like possible cat breeds. Like she could be mixed for sure,
Mm-hmm.
but predominantly like gray tabby. But like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she's adorable jackass. But yeah. Anyways, so in Naruto, there's this clan called the Uchiha clan.
Mm-hmm.
Shit hits the ceiling fan, and I'm doing this dirty because I have to get through this really fast to give you an idea. And one of their clan members betrays them all,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much, and he's like a very like the top of their clan, by the way. Like he's like
Mm-hmm.
next in line to be leader of their clan level guy, and
Mm-hmm.
he assassinates them all except his little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And we for like over like I think like 200 chapters we never find out why until like
Mm-hmm.
the little brother gets his revenge against the older brother. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
um that kind of happens with Shiki and Tsukihime, where his clan of demon hunters gets eradicated by a clan of demons, basically all
Mm-hmm.
but him. And for some reason, the head of this demon family decides to adopt him. But the thing is that this Shiki has like pre-programmed sleeper agent vibes to him. That whenever
Mm-hmm.
he's like near certain prestigious supernatural beings, he like switches to killer mode. Like he's like,
Mm-hmm.
so think Mikia. Think someone nice, humble, modest, and kind as
Mm-hmm.
Mikia, but like imagine him flipping the fucking switch like the Sheik we
Mm-hmm.
mean in that fucking instant. Like he's that kind of like
Mm-hmm.
sleeper agent. And this is how he meets his love interest by slicing her into pieces.
Mm-hmm.
uh but yeah, so like there's that weird correlation, and then his stepsister is a demon who is also a possible love interest depending on where you go in the visual novel, who does magic as well, who can has the power to resurrect people. So like this Shiki gets almost killed by his stepbrother, which in results his stepsister reviving him, and from doing so he gets mystic eyes of death perception, similar
Mm-hmm.
to Ryogi Shiki. Then there's another love interest who is also a nun as well, similar to Azaka, who is also a magus as well, and like all this shit like correlates to one another within the confines of Kinoku Nasu's work. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's like there's no accident per se when it comes to all this correlation to one another. Like, you know, our Ayara is interested in Shiki for some reason, and then it's revealed that she has the potential of being the access point to the Akashic records within chapter 5, which is kind of why he waited and bid his time for her to possibly, like, within a chance of getting her mystic eyes of this perception. And when it's confirmed that she does, then that's kind of like where he goes, springs the trump cards, like with the you know, the ghost girl, Fujino, and God's word, and then for the main antagonist for this chapter, Leo. And then yeah, and so but because he gets killed off, there's like real no point for some of these antagonists per se, like more so with like God's word, for example, because like he fucks off at the end of chapter 6, which in the novel at least he gets killed off by Ouija. So it makes sense why he doesn't show up again, because he gets killed off because Ouija didn't like her memories being tampered with, and so just said, hey, you fuck you, and kills him. Right? Makes
fuck
sense.
You, fucking dick.
Basically. And so kills him off, at least on screen, on page in the novel, but then he's gone in the context of like the movies. And then we have I want to say he's the last one, Leo, the last henchman of IR that has survived so far. But I'm fairly certain we're gonna get like a little bit, like maybe one more before Leo in the epilogue, because there's like one like eye user left, I think, that has like interesting.
I'm pretty sure the synopsis for like episode, what is it? Let me check Crunchyroll.
Yes.
Episode 9, it says there's an antagonist. But episode 8 doesn't say there really is one. So maybe the next villain's going to be in episode 9, and episode 9 seems to be another a year ago prequel.
We really need to find a site that actually has all those like 9 episodes, because Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway.
Again, I think we're just gonna have to get the free trial for Crunchyroll or something. Because we only need one episode we're missing.
Yeah, but I was like, imagine like wasting your free trial on a fucking one episode. That's ridiculous.
That's fair, yeah. You can make a new email and you make one.
I could. No, wait, they track that now. They track because you have to like sign up with a card in order to do your trial, and they pay attention to the card used now. Like, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, we gotta find some place that has it, possibly. Anyways, God, we just watched this last night, and I'm like blanking on the exact specific events, because it does continue off the events of chapters 5 and 6 directly, to the point where it's like it's more or less confirmed that that Shiki and Mikia are in a relationship, because like they had like such an adorable dynamic. Where it's like, hey, I heard your sister took you out to a restaurant. It's sad because like I wanted to also go to that restaurant sometime too with you. And it's like the first time I ever wanted to kill your sister. And what else?
Basically, like the murders that happened in the origin episode,
right,
have started picking up again, and Mikia is concerned that it's possibly Shiki murdering people again.
So okay, so that's the interesting part, is that remember how we were still speculating if Shiki was the actual killer in that episode, and this episode actually reveals that Shiki never murdered anyone she's like a virgin killer, li- literally. Like she has not like
Hmm.
popped her cherry in that regard. Well, not until the end, but like, uh, so because the entire time it was this last antagonist and last henchman of Ayara, who also by sheer fucking coincidence is a former high school classmate of Miki and Rashiki. And on top of that, he also is also a fucking stalker of Shiki on top of all of that. So he's literally a big infatuation with. He has a big infatuation with Shiki, where he quite literally his apartment is literally has an entire fucking wall dedicated to her pictures from scenes of back in chapter 2.
Dear God, he's watched the anime.
He's watched the anime, yeah. And then he also has like recorded footage of her as well, which I'm not sure how well he could have hid that fucking camera because cameras back then were kind of like very noticeable of when you're
Hmm.
recording somebody compared to now. So how Shiki didn't just like whoop his ass or whatever back then is a big mystery to me, but okay. Um yeah, so
Maybe Shiki did know, and she just like I'm just too lazy. I don't give a fuck.
you know, that could be it, because she was kind of like that as well when she found out it was Leo trying
Hmm.
to frame her. Because even Leo went to the extent of actually dressing up like her. It's like even styling his hair after her and everything. It
Hmm.
was actually very creepy, not gonna lie. And the fact that he was just framing her for the
Hmm.
murders and everything is like, oh, it's you. Never mind. I guess I didn't really have to worry much, considering that you're just like you're just being a doppelganger of me.
Hmm.
Um,
So who ended up doing the murders before in the past? Was it him,
it
or was
was
there
it was
just some mysterious other killer?
it was Leo. It was Leo. It was revealed that 4 years ago, during the events of Chapter
Okay.
2, that he was committing all these
Yeah,
murders
yeah. He
to.
punched a guy and accidentally killed him, and then he just became a murderer.
Yeah, he just became a murderer, and he just wanted to murder to get the attention of Shiki, which kinda did, because she was basically following the trail of the killer, kind of like how she does in Chapter 7 now, of who is doing this and why are they basically uh being. Well, no, they didn't really show off him dressing up as Shiki back then, because they didn't really establish him as a character as much to that point. So I'm not quite sure how
The
much of it was.
all the detectives knew was it was probably a school student.
Yeah, and then because of
Is he in that episode and we just didn't notice?
so I think the problem is that I think he was kind of like a character that was made up for the sake of convenience. 'Cause even I don't
Okay.
recall seeing this character at all within the confines of the flashbacks.
It would be kind of neat if he was just in the background. We just didn't notice.
You know, I kind of want to go rewatch some of that stuff to
Just
see.
like watch like the school scenes, look at everyone
Yeah,
in the school.
yeah. But he does bring up a quote that Shiki told him of why of him being rejected by him. Like,
Hmm.
oh, I don't like weak people was her exact wording, and I don't recall her ever telling anyone that within any of the flashbacks to that point.
Yeah, I don't think we saw his origin, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he was like a background character who's just in the background. Maybe like said like see him saying hi to like Mikia or whatever,
You know,
and then that's just like it.
that would be interesting, and normally Ufotable would be able to catch that, but
Hmm.
Kinoku Nasu typically ends up not being that thoughtful when it comes to his writing, because like I said, I'm fairly certain this character was like made up
Hmm.
on the spot just for the
Yeah,
justification, and that
I mean
normally
it kind of
fits it.
happens with the writing. If you like don't know the full story, you might just make up stuff as you go.
Yeah, and that
Hmm.
and it does kind of feel like that, because like
Hmm.
we.
Like it happens. It's just like a natural thing that happens with writing sometimes.
Yeah. Speaking of origin, we finally get an understanding of what the fuck that terminology is. And so it's basically like a form of like reincarnation to in a sense where it's an understanding of what you were in your past life, which kind of fits in with the themes of Leo, because like even Ayara said, "Oh, like oh no, you were one letter away of being named Lion," and then he
Mm,
suddenly has like a lot of like allegories towards that specific animal, from like eating his prey to
mm.
claiming his woman. And we're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but
It's like, what's the one bad guy's name? Ryu?
Ryu, who you?
The guy with the blacked out eyes.
Ayara.
Yara must just be really into puns. Like, damn, you're so close to being called lion, and you eat people. Fuck, that's a missed opportunity.
He
I love
literally
puns.
he literally says that too. That was a missed opportunity because you were like one letter away from being called lion. He literally
It's
says
kind of
that.
funny, like pretending like, was it
Ayara. Yes.
Ayara having the little silly quirks in his personality, like, oh, he likes puns, and he has
Wait.
like a secret weed stash.
Oh my god, we're gonna talk about that too. Oh wait, I'm also mixing up his names. Araya. Araya.
Araya.
Araya. Because it's Araya. Araya.
Araya, the last dragon.
Basically. Um. What else? Me. That's another thing I kind of want to talk about too, because I noticed a certain, because like the series is called Garden of Sinners, but I've also kind of noticed like a similar theme of the seven deadly sins as well, where
Mhm.
you can arguably say the Ghost Girl is envy, because the whole purpose of her wanting to get like the ghost girl power form was
Mhm.
because she was envious of people who could walk and talk and see normally, whereas she's blind, crippled, and bedridden because of her medical conditions. And so then you have Leo, who is eating his victims and everything. So that's clearly gluttony. And um I want to say is either the ghost girl is, and I want to say Fujino's lust. Not gonna lie, because she has that similar split personality to Shiki, where she
Who has
un-
like a bloodlust?
unknowingly enjoys killing others, and yeah, that bloodlust that you talk about. Because like even Shiki like called her out on that. I was like, you don't like killing? Then why are you smiling? And then like even Fujino didn't realize that she was smiling when talking about killing others as well. Then um so that's Leo, Ghost Girl, and Fujino. Um I want to say Shiki could be Sloth, maybe? Because she's like, depending on how you're looking at it, she's quite lazy, often
Mhm.
on and off. Then,
Mhm.
or she could be Wrath too, because like she's very like aggressive when it comes to beating the shit out of you.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like you could draw like the seven deadly sin similarities to at least several of the characters. Like only one, and this goes into Miki's characters. Like the only one that is uh kind-hearted, innocent,
Mhm.
is him. Like he's the only character that is like a genuine human being, whereas everyone
Mhm.
else is like a homicidal maniac in some degree.
Mhm.
And then like you talked about earlier, where like he is like a character that has the power to draw in crazy people.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then
He's got the Psycho Riz.
Psycho Riz. Um,
The Rizzler.
the Psycho Rizzler. Uh, but yeah. So the murders that were happening in the events of Chapter 2 start repeating themselves again, and like you said, Mikia thinks it's Shiki who's doing it, but it turns out it's not. It's somebody else trying to frame her, which turns out to be Leo. And Mikia goes so far to try gather information of uh proving Shiki's innocence that he goes out of his way to actually try LSD. And not gonna lie, I'm not sure how powerful that drug is. Like, I know, like, if you take like a tab of LSD, that like you can literally be tripping balls for like the rest of your day because of how powerful it is. But like, you can literally see that that Miki only had like a little like corner of his tablet. I'm like, man, you got that's some weak sauce you got there, bro. It's like that meme was like, Peter, these edibles ain't shit, and like, whoa.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he came down from his high. He drained it out of his system, even though like how he took it, I don't think it goes. It leaves your system the same way as it does, like, drinking alcohol. So I'm kind of curious about that. Anyways, so yeah, then Shiki finds Leo. Leo is like, infatuated with her and converting her to become an actual killer because she's never killed. Like, and that was actually a big plot twist to me. It was that this entire time in all these episodes we watched, she's never killed anyone. And I never thought about that too, because I thought that was sheer dumb luck as well. Because like, she didn't kill Fujino. She killed her appendicitis infection, but she didn't kill her directly. She didn't kill Godsword. Technically, Ouija did in the novel. Then she never killed the Ghost Girl. The Ghost
Wait
Girl.
a minute. She killed the ghosts of the Ghost Girl's victims. Like, yeah, technically she didn't kill the girls, but like she killed their ghosts, which is that's kind of worse than death.
Well, so there seems to be like a exemption to the killing rule, because Leo even brought it up when it came to Araya as well, because Araya was killed by Shiki, but like he was too much of a inhuman to be considered a human death.
Okay.
Which kind of tracks, because he's like a 200-year-old magus who creates duplicate bodies of himself to transfer his soul into. So it's like,
is it like it's like cartoon superhero logic where like you can't kill anyone, it's the kids show, but robots and aliens go nuts.
Basically. Yeah, and then also there was that fucking zombie cadaver. Yeah, it was like zombie. She's only killed zombies. Yeah, that's it.
Ghosts.
And ghosts.
Zombies, ghosts,
and
immortal,
immortal
magus creatures.
Yes. So she's never killed a single human being. And then up until the end of this episode, which we'll get into, and because we're gonna have to talk about that, I need an adult scene. But yeah, what was the context? Okay, so she is in a fit of wanting to kill Leo because Leo is, in her point of view, is at the point of no return of saving him, because he's already killed like over 10 people at this point. So she wants to just like end him because like he's a no good criminal that there's no coming back from. Mikia is trying to talk her out of it, and she is like, okay, but I love you, but like I love you, but like I want to do this because like this is, to me, this is the right thing to do, and my family has this philosophy that in life you only get like one freebie, so like I want this to at least be my freebie. Babe, please let me kill him. And I'm like, no, babe, don't do it. And she's like, if I want to do it.
If I wanna.
Marijuana.
Mika trying to Steven Universe her way out of it. Like, you can make a difference. We don't have to fight. We can make things better. We can make things right.
Basically, that's basically like,
And it's like,
and that.
Mika, he's a serial killer, and he's threatening us.
See, even then, so the thing about Japan's legal system is that even if they brought him into justice for like bring him into like police custody and shit, he would still get charged with execution. By the way, he'd still get killed. So it's like,
yeah.
so it's like for me in that perspective, back in like
What do you believe with that? Like, yo, if we take him to jail, technically you murder him.
exactly. So that it doesn't make any sense because like back in the like olden days, like I want to say the 1800s, maybe 1700s, maybe in between there, attempting to unalive yourself was illegal to the point where you get executed. So if you survive like hanging yourself, you would be brought into court, tried, and you would be sentenced to death by hanging. So
That's
like,
kind of stupid.
This is factual. This is, I'm not making this up. This is a legit thing that we used to have done back in our olden days. So like, it made no sense regardless. What was the point? You just wasted taxpayer money just to legally hang him. So like, I don't fucking know.
Bro was about to do it, like, it's a dark joke, but bro was about to do it for free.
For real. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's the same thought process that I'm seeing with Mikia wanting to at least bring Leo into like proper police custody. Like, you're only gonna get him killed anyways because of like how many people he fucking murdered. I don't even think they have like claim insanity in Japan. Like, if you have like such a horrendous record of murder, like, you're going to get got by the legal system if you're not going to be got by somebody else.
Yeah, this is like during like 1999.
Yes. Which definitely by then. So the only proper way of execution in Japan to this day, if I remember correctly, is death by hanging. So you're gonna get got anyways, regardless. So I think that's the.
I know, like, death penalty is kind of like not really good, but like, don't we have like more humane ways now?
In America, yes. In Japan, they only have hanging.
Why don't they just use the humane one? They just don't care.
I think it's probably because of a lot of their how traditional Japan is, and how I think they're trying to push for removing the death penalty, or they're trying to, add more humane ways, like you mentioned. Because, like, I honestly, like, yeah, I would probably prefer like death by fire squad than hanging, so long as like.
I just related kind of like a sick. Sorry, I heard like I was watching a stream and someone said a story about like this IRL jester in like medieval times who got like basically got like the death penalty because one rule was he's not allowed to make jokes about like the king's wife, but like because she just can't take the joke. But he accidentally like made a joke against her wife, and she's like, "Husband, I know he's your favorite jester, but kill this man." And he's like, "Bro, I love you, bro, but you made fun of my wife. I'm gonna have to kill you. I'm gonna give you a week, and you can decide how you want to die, and I'll give you that as like because we're chill. I love you, bro." And a week comes later, and he's like, "All right, how did you choose? How do you want to die?" And the jester's like, "I choose to die of old age."
Ah!
And the king was like, "That is the most funniest fucking thing ever. Here's some money. You're banished from the kingdom. Get out." I'm sorry, wife. That was too funny. He has to go.
That was so fucking clever. I love that. Oh.
He's like, "I love you, Jester, man. Get the fuck out of my kingdom."
And that's how the Jester became the VTuber we know today. I'm gonna probably add that to my lore now.
I want to die of old age.
All right.
Sorry.
But you know, you're good. You're good. You're good. But yes, basically in Japan right now, as far as I'm aware, if anyone can like clarify that to me, if that's changed or not, they're either trying to get rid of the death penalty or include more humane ways. That currently, as of this recording for live stream, is death by hanging for your execution. So yeah, that's why I guess Shiki's way is technically more humane. But yeah, she tries to.
Really humane, it's just quicker.
Well, yeah, especially like now that you have to put Leo in Tupperware now. But yes, it's quicker. And I guess it's more meaningful, I guess, because it does get rid of her 1 kill per lifetime policy check marked off, and then she goes to confront Leo. She's basically whooping his ass, and to the point where she can't go through with it because she doesn't want to upset her boyfriend. Which respect to that, not gonna lie, that's actually commendable. However, she gets the shit beat out of her. On top of that, knocked out, tied up, and yeah. So we have to kind of talk about this scene where Leo keeps trying to goad her to killing him, and is literally aggressively hinting at he's going to grape her if she does not cave in to killing him. And thankfully Mikia breaks in to the building and kind of stops that.
Yeah, stops it before anything like actually happened. It was just mostly just licking.
Yeah, so much slobber. The animators like put too much fucking effort into that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was weird.
I need an adult. I need a shower after watching that.
Yeah. Alright, Band-Aid ripped off, moving on.
Yeah, and so it's actually kind of funny too, because like Mikia like breaks the window, goes in, and immediately gets clocked in the fucking head by a literal pipe too.
Metal pipe sound redeem.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't have that. Thank God.
Should add it.
Maybe next time, but like right now, I'm so glad I don't, because like I do not want that ringing in my ears. Anyways.
Your poor sensitive bunny ears.
Yeah. And then we get into why Leo is still doing the things he's doing even after Araya's death. Mostly because he's lonely and he wants a companion, and the only way to do that is either convert somebody to him to be a freak of nature like him with his special drugs and that fucking mountains of kush that he got from Araya's fucking warehouse. Like, we have to fucking talk about that. Like, you imagine how much you have to fucking, like, run in order to, like, because Araya had met, Leo, like, 4 years prior during the events of, like, chapter 2 at least, right? So, 4 years he had a whole warehouse stock of kush. What was he using that for?
Well, I mean, it was like he said it's like special magic stuff. Maybe it's for his like wizard potions, but like
special wizard kush.
his extra special blend.
I'm just thinking of that. I'm just thinking of like Cheech and Chong now. It's just like, and they have that one song literally called Marijuana, and it's literally just them being like, "Ooh, how I love you, marijuana," and it's actually a fucking bop too, by the way. It's like it's an earworm, and like I'm actually gonna send that to you now because like it's a really good earworm. Probably should have actually played that. Like, was I streaming on Easter? I don't remember. Because
I don't even remember when Easter was. It was this month, right?
It was literally last week.
Oh, I guess I just didn't do anything and just forgot.
We were. No, wait. I think that was when we skipped a day. So we weren't doing
Was it? Or was it like the day before?
I think it was the same day because we normally do our stuff like Sunday nights.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I just remember we weren't doing anything.
Yeah, because like I think because like it was like the weather issue. Yeah, because it was weather issues. And then it came back to haunt me on Tuesday night.
Jambi was too busy. Jambi was too busy on Easter.
Too busy.
Don't think about it too much, Chad. There's no correlation. They're not the Easter Bunny. Trust. Wink, wink. There's no proof to confirm the reason of why Jambi couldn't make it the Sunday of Easter.
No, I don't. Have you ever watched the movie Mallrats?
No, I don't think so.
It's a Jay and Silent Bob movie. It's like
I don't think I've seen any of their movies, but I've heard of them.
Didn't we watch Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back like years ago?
I think we did, but like, yeah, we did. We did. I can't remember. Was I just either I was distracted while watching it, or I missed the beginning? But like for some reason, I don't. I remember watching it though.
Anyways, so Mallrats takes place around Easter time. And so normally your local mall will have like an Easter Bunny meet and greet where like you can have your kids take a picture of the Easter Bunny and whatnot. Jay and Silent Bob, I can't remember the full fucking context, but they literally skip the entire fucking line, go up to the Easter Bunny, and beat the shit out of him.
No.
I don't know the context. I can't remember the context. I have to like look up like the actual clip again to see like why that happened. But like so like every time Easter comes around, like I always want to like commission like one of my buddies to like have like me as Jambi and then and Vicarious like do the exact same thing to the Easter Bunny. It's like, you're making us look bad.
Britain lies that you lay eggs.
But yeah, so when Leo reveals why he's selling all these magical drugs, and
wizard weed,
and possibly giving people hepatitis, because like he's using his blood to infuse it with those same LSD tablets that Mikia took, called blood chips. And they're different than the normal LSD tablets because, you know, they have the red corners on it because that's fucking blood. And Leo's like, all the people I give this to always end up dying for some reason. It was like, you probably are giving them AIDS, dude. Especially,
bro, literally, his like body was like morphing around like earlier. Like his blood's probably not good if he's like a monster.
I'm trying to remember the context for that because I'm fairly certain that has to do with his origin reverting his body to like a more primal state, which is more or less the reasons why you see him being like very super fucking athletic and agility ridden, and him like dodging all over Shiki like a goddamn bouncy ball. And then basically, I like the second that he took like this, like I don't even know what it was like some kind of drug or something like that. Broke it off in his mouth. I'm like, don't kiss him, don't kiss him, just kiss him. And he kissed him. He literally kissed him. He kissed Mikia. I was like, wow. I literally called it too.
he took Mikia's first kiss. It was supposed to be Shiki's.
Holy shit, I think you're right too. I think you actually are on point with that. I think that was actually Mikia's first kiss. ah. But anyways, he drugs Mikia and tries to convert him into being a freak of nature similar to Leo and I guess you can say Shiki, I guess. But Mikia, being the goody two shoes, innocent soul that he is, refuses not to convert and just like says, "I'd rather fucking die, dude." And then Leo kind of like took that to heart and kind of stabbed him in the eye. And somehow, okay, and we're not gonna, okay. And then Mikia goes back upstairs to confront Shiki, and Shiki escapes. She escaped by biting off her fucking thumb, and like, goddamn.
It was a robot arm, right?
Yeah, thankfully that was the fake arm. Otherwise, Toko would have a field day trying to give her a working thumb on a real hand. And then Shiki still refuses to kill Leo and is literally just about to like, I am so done with this, I want to go home. And then right before she leaves, Leo quite literally says, "Oh yeah, by the way, I killed Mikia," and gives her the bloody knife covered in his blood. And Shiki is like, "You what now?" And quite literally cradles the fucking knife in her arms like a baby, because like that's like the closest thing to like possibly having Mikia in her arms ever again. And she's having like an inner monologue like, "I know you told me not to kill him, but I can't like let this go because he took the only thing I had in my life away from me." And so like, yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, you said if I kill him, you would never forgive me, but you're already dead, so it's kind of fine.
So yeah, she kind of gave herself like a new loophole on top of her like one kill rule. So yeah, she does Leo in, and it was so fast too how quick she kills him, and this shows that the entire time that she's fought him, she has been like toying with him, or as holding back, I should say, because the entire time, like you think it's like almost like a stalemate, more or less. Where and my cat is in is in dumbass mode again. All right. And
go crazy. Go stupid. Go crazy. Go stupid.
And so like, and you see the like he and you know like the bouncing ball effect where he's leaping and dodging, ducking and dashing everywhere, scraping Shiki and goading her to the point of like finally killing him. And she does. She like cuts off his hand, cuts off both his legs, stabs him in the back, and pretty much cuts him up into pieces to the point where like you have to put him in fucking Tupperware now.
You know, I honestly, I was kind of thinking maybe she was just gonna chop off his arms and legs, so like technically you're still alive, but you can't kill anyone anymore.
You know,
so that way she didn't break the kill rule.
Yeah, I was thinking that would be a good workaround as well, and that would actually fit into Shiki's personality. But no, she outright kills him. He gets stabbed in the back and everything. It like gush of blood coming out of him like gushers. And yeah, that's the end of Leo. And Mikia rests in pieces. And then Mikia finally comes to after like I'm fairly certain that like his leg is like fucking cement ash or something now after his leg gets broken and stabbed.
Was it broken? I think it was only stabbed like 2 or 3 times.
There was crunchy noises when Leo
he stabbed the bone,
where he like stomped his leg on his leg, and he like you can hear crunch grinding, bone grinding basically. So yeah, that's a broken leg. And you can't even see it too, because like he can't even walk anymore because of it. He can't even move his leg to like help him crawl. He's like crawling and dragging his body off of like one leg. And then
because plot twist, Mikia lived.
Yeah, Mikia lived, and is glad that Shiki's alive. He sees that she killed Leo though, and is like, "Yeah, I'm never forgiving you." But like, I
Yeah,
thought,
he's like crawling up there like, Miki, don't kill him. If you kill him, I'll never forgive you. And then he just sees her, he's like, I can't stay mad at you.
yeah, I just love that too. Like, I actually love that. Is like, okay, yeah, I know you killed him. I even said that I would bear your sins for you in your place. So, and it's like dedication, bro. It's like this guy's a keeper.
Mhm.
and
Miki is too forgiving for his own good, but like they seem good for each other.
for real. And it's like, oh, I won't forgive you even if you cry. And it's like, even if I cry, and she starts crying. Ah, so cute. Love Shiki. She's so adorable. Uh, and then they hug, and then they embrace, and then roll credits. And then the after credits is basically Mikia getting out of the hospital finally. And it was like, why did you visit me? And she's like, why would I visit you? Because I visited you when you were into the hospital in that coma for 2 fucking years. Anyways, let's go get brunch or something like that. And then they basically lived happily ever after.
Did she mention something about like she's not allowed in the hospital?
I don't remember.
Because she did something, probably the zombie incident.
Yeah,
Like, yo, did you cut this person up? Get the fuck out.
that would be hilarious if that was the case, but I don't recall. And then yeah, they basically lived happily ever after that, which is interesting how it ends like that. And yeah, that's basically Garden of Sinners. Now we do have the epilogue, and then we have that one more episode that seems to be important, that secret chapter 9 that I am not aware of, but that's a flashback for some reason, so it doesn't make sense of why it's like after.
I'm assuming it's like a 1-year flashback, so I'm assuming it's like, oh, we finished the show, but we had one more cool idea, so let's just do like, okay, this is an in between the last 2 episodes.
So yeah, if it's a
You know what I mean?
last year flashback, then that around this time that would be like way before the events of chapter 5 then.
Yeah. But then you just have like the 10th episode, which is just about Shiki having a pet cat.
I kind of want to watch that because that sounds adorable.
Yeah. Do you want to like?
Oh, I'm fine with like it whenever we can again watch all of it in like one go, and then just
do like a 3B?
just like rapid fire next time.
Yeah, because I'm just like the last one was 2 hours combined. This will be like 2.5 hours. So like, might as well just watch all 3 of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then that way we can have like free time for like future plans in the future.
Because I'm just thinking like we're probably not gonna have anything to say about the epilogue. It's like, oh, cute little moments of them together, and then like the cat one, like, oh, silly cat adventures. Like,
I mean,
we're only gonna...
you never know, because like it could be a good filler episode that could have a lot to talk about. I'm not quite certain
but
about
what I'm
that.
thinking is this is their 30 minutes long, and it's probably gonna have 10 minutes of credits, so it's probably just like a 20-minute episode.
Probably.
So like, I don't think there's much gonna happen.
Possibly. That's why technically speaking, we are done with Garden Sinners. Technically.
We just got like the bonus episode.
Yeah, we got the bonus shit. Which technically we don't have to watch, I guess, but like that's more like up to you.
No, I say we do. I say we probably should just do a 3B and just do one more.
Okay. So yeah, that is Garden of Sinners, Chapter 7, Murder Case Files B. What do you think of this episode, Dakota?
It was all right.
It was just all right. That's it.
Yeah, it was. I think what was it? The episode 5 was probably like the peak of the show, and this one was just kind of like, yeah, this one was good, but like, I don't know. Maybe not necessarily my favorite episode, but like it was one of the okay ones. It's better than the last one with the fairies. I don't really get why that episode needed to be made.
I think it was supposed to be because it was supposed to be a segue with God's word, where he was trying to tempt Shiki into wanting to pursue a possibility of recovering her other half, and that just like never picked up. That just never happened. Mostly because he fucks off and never appears again, but mostly because he gets killed off in the novel. So like either way, he's gone now.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess it was just like a breather. Maybe they were greenlit for a certain amount of episodes, so there's like, okay, we'll just do like a breather one.
I think so too. That probably lines up fairly well, especially with how typemoon and
Mm.
Kanokunasu often do their episodes, because they often have like certain. You will even see this in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works too, where technically speaking, I think I think it's a 12 episode series, or I think it's like a 20 episode series. I can't remember, but like at a certain point, the series is done. But then you have like the last episode or two that are like epilogue episodes, and it's like
Mm.
where we really don't really need to like watch them to like.
I guess epilogues are kind of little fun, little like here's them having a happy life just for like lulls. It seems like a lot of animes seem to do that. But like I just mean like this one just kind of like filler. It's not really an epilogue episode. It's just kind of like uh God's word guy said something that didn't end up really being that important.
I don't know, it's just the term epilogue normally means like what happens after happily ever after. Well, not really what
Yeah.
happens after happily ever after, but more like a
Mm.
peek at like how good everything is after the events of the whole story that you just read or watched.
Mhm.
And I would probably prefer something like that if it was like a proper epilogue for Guardian of Sinners, because like I kind of want to see what Mikia and Shiki's life is like after all this crazy shit is done and over with. Does Mikia stay with working with Toka? Does Shiki do something with her life after going back to school? Because imagine being like,
Mhm.
because Mikia and Shiki are
Mhm.
like in their 20s now, I think, and
Wait, what happened to Toka on this episode? Like,
she kind of
this
just.
is was this just like Miki's just like, oh, can you like tell Shiki off, like buzz off and leave Miki alone? She's like, huh, buzz off. You know what? I think I'll buzz off.
Yeah, basically Toka pretty much had like zero stake in this episode in comparison to like the Paradox Paradigm, where like her like former classmates are like fucking nuisances and she wants to help stop them basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
She's like, huh, I'll retire. That's a fun idea.
yeah, where right now she's just, you know, she's she's not. She gives an explanation of what origins are for people,
Mm-hmm.
but they never really do anything else with that with her after that. He's just like exposition,
Mm-hmm.
stay in the background, basically.
Yeah, this is more of kind of like a personal adventure with Miki and Shiki.
Basically. And I'm just really curious like what their life was after this, because so in
Imagine just nothing changed and Shiki's just still in her bed.
that would be hilarious. But in the Nasu verse, in Kinoku Nasu's writings and works, there's
Mm.
this thing called the Throne of Heroes, where if you are a certain hero of a certain biblical proportion,
Mm-hmm.
you get engraved into the Throne of Heroes, which is a literal uh conceptual wall of writings where like you're like let's say for example King Arthur is
Mm-hmm.
known for their stories, and so because of those epic stories of theirs, they get etched into the wall of the Throne of Heroes, where later in
Mm-hmm.
time they can be summoned as heroic spirits for certain magi to fight in the Holy Grail War.
So it's kind of like the that film archive thing where it's like movies that the people think are like significant in like American history. They put in like the archive to be saved forever.
Yes, yes. And so Shiki,
Shrek got in.
nice. But Shiki made it. She is a
Mhm.
part of the Throne of Heroes, and which is why in the Fate Grand Order app game you are able to summon her and the other Shiki.
Shiki?
Yep,
Both Shikis?
both Shikis.
That's kind of freaky.
Oh, it is, and it's actually not fair because like one is a because like in the Garden of Sinners crossover event, you can earn Shiki as a free servant if you grind like a motherfucker in that game during
Does
that
this like
event.
take place in the future? Because like Shiki should still be alive.
I can't remember too much of the events of.
Does Shiki die young?
I do see. We never get clarification of what happens, but it's funny you mentioned that because somebody actually pointed out in a Garden of Sinners. Oh, actually, that one Garden of Sinners music video I sent in our group chat. Somebody literally comments that to this day, Shiki would be 60 years old. So
Today.
yeah, today Shiki would be 60 years old. So like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes sense.
that just creates a interesting perspective considering like we're watching her like so young in like the late 1990s and everything. Uh but yeah, apparently she does die sometime in the future, and you're able to summon her as a heroic spirit, specifically in the assassin class. Which
Technically, Shiki had two personalities. Could you summon the other personality?
that is the other Shiki that you
Oh,
can
so
summon.
both personalities?
Yes,
I thought you meant like the other character Shiki from the other show.
not from the other show, not yet, quote unquote. But you can summon that Shiki's girlfriend, Arcuid, as that's a whole other spaghetti ball, can of spaghetti balls there. Uh,
Hmm.
but yes, Shiki as in the Shiki we know and love, to the Shiki as in the other personality, you can also summon as well as a Saber class servant, which is actually kind of interesting because
Do they just look the same? Shiki has her own shiny Pokemon version?
okay, let me actually pull up the so like in so free servants that you can grind and unlock to keep as a permanent servant for you during specific events often have one outfit, right?
Hmm.
But servants that you have to pay to summon, basically, when you get them and level them up, their outfits change gradually. So like let me just because like so Assassin Shiki is the Shiki we know and love throughout the events of the movies, where she has the jacket and the blue kimono and everything. That's basically her outfit the entire time that you play her character and unlock her. Then you have Saber Shiki, who has a plain white kimono, but once you level her up and ascend her level cap, she gets two outfits, and these are the outfits.
All right. Interesting.
Like a cute pink
Mm.
kimono, then with a little bun, and then like the next one is like gorgeous. It's like next level layers of almost like a geisha,
Mm.
and then like very long hair, and then you see that little smile of hers as well. And it's like it's interesting.
Mm.
And so yeah, that's kind of the difference between the two Shikis, at least in game. Well,
Mm.
one does like a single hit special super move, and then the Saber Shiki does an area effect super move. They're like the same thing where they can cause like insta death, but Assassin Shiki is technically more effective because it's a single hit target. Because like single hit targets like hit like smack you with all that damage all in one, whereas like multi hit special attacks are like they spread out the damage rather than funnel it into one. But yeah, technically speaking, at some point in the near future or whatever, Shiki does die, but she is engraved into the Throne of Heroes, where you can summon her as a servant, and then you can summon the other Shiki as well, her other personality.
Imagine like going through all this shit in your life, saving the world, and you're finally put to rest, only to be resurrected in like a wizard gacha.
Oh, you have no idea. That's kind of how one of the servants in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade works. It feels like they like put in all this work.
You asked to be a gacha character. Let me rest.
Basically, and oh my god, like I have to, and so the Throne of Heroes exists outside of like time and space. So like, for example, I don't want to say this because it's kind of spoiler, but so like for example, you're a magus in let's say 2015, right? And let's say somewhere in the near future, you do something that gets you put on the Throne of Heroes, right? You could technically accidentally summon yourself from the future.
That's weird.
It is, and I will tell you right now, one of the servants is like that right now. I'm gonna tell you that right now, and it's kind of a spoiler, and I won't say
so,
who.
Yeah, there's like the afterlife. This time runs different.
If you're a heroic spirit, yes.
That's stupid.
Kinda not, because like
you can't summon like someone who's alive.
You would be surprised because they're.
I don't know.
Because
I think that's stupid.
You know the Blue Lancer, the Kukulan, the guy with the red spear and everything. His master, who taught him the spearmanship, Skaha, she is technically still alive, but you can summon her as well. And then there are other characters such as like literal deities that you.
Is this like people? Are these like copies of them, or is it like the actual ghosts? Is this like Night at the Museum kind of logic, where it's like if you write someone who's alive on the wall, you get like a clone copy of them?
A little bit of both. So it's like
not actually their ghosts. It's just kind of like copy.
It depends. So like, is heroic spirits, if it's in like the traditional sense, let's say King Arthur, because King Arthur's fucking dead, I think. Don't quote me on that, because I think someone out there said that King Arthur is still alive somehow. I don't know how.
Oh, bro found the Holy Grail. Let's fucking go.
Oh, you have no fucking idea. Anyways, oh, there's so many like Monty Python jokes in regards to like Fate, King Arthur. Anyways, so like King Arthur, for example, who is dead, long since dead, possibly, but like for the sake of argument, let's say they are dead. When you summon them in the modern day, you are creating a magical 3D printed copy of that specific King Arthur in that point in their lifetime.
So it's like a clone.
Yes, a magical clone.
But then other ones are actual ghosts.
So like they are.
This is
so they
interesting, cool concept for a show, but now it's just kind of like that's stupid.
It gets like I said, this shit gets complicated real fucking fast if you don't like
Bro,
follow
it just should be people who are dead.
They are ghosts, but like you're summoning ghosts into physical 3D printed bodies from like any period in time. So like you got periods of like, ancient Japan, ancient Egypt, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient everything, right? ancient fucking aliens. Which I'm not gonna fucking lie, there technically are some ones that are aliens, such as one of them is a foreigner class servant who is the physical embodiment of H.P. Lovecraft.
So like the writer, and he just takes the form of an alien.
No, more like the physical manifestation of his writings. Because there are servants and slash heroic spirits.
So fictional shit.
Yes, and there is.
This is just not at the museum. These aren't actually ghosts.
There is actually a.
This is Pokemon at the museum. His love child. This is stupid.
So in Fate Extra, I believe it is. Yes, Fate Extra. There is a servant named Nursery Rhymes, who is the physical manifestation of literal nursery rhymes. I'm not making this shit up.
I'm just gonna choose that they're not ghosts, they're just copies. This is not at the museum logic.
So it's really hard to say because like they play it very loosely because like there's two different Jack the Rippers, okay? There's Jack the Ripper Berserker class, there's Jack the Ripper Assassin class. Assassin Jack the Ripper is the we need to watch Fate Apocrypha. We need to watch a lot of shit together that's Fate related, and it's gonna like mind fuck you.
Like just go up to that like whatever it's called and write down Goku. There, you won the contest. Good for you.
You know because you can technically summon deities. Technically speaking, you can technically summon Sun Wukong. Theoretically, who is Goku, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So like.
If you could just like write down any fictional hero.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that now because you can summon Sanzo. I can't remember her original his original Chinese name, but Sanzo is the monk in Journey to the West that travels with Sun Wukong slash Goku, and in Fate Grand Order. They are a she, and she can summon the weapons of the three companions that travel with her to get the sutras in Journey to the West. So you can summon Sun Wukong's staff cudgel as a weapon. So technically, you can summon Sun Wukong, and they just have to like. Make a update to the lore and story of why you're able to summon him, and the thing with Dave,
can I summon Batman and just like win the contest with prep time and like not kung fu moves he learned from Tibetan monks?
If Batman exists in the confines of Kanoku Nasu's like writings, theoretically you could. Because
you should be able to. If you could summon fucking nursery, like the living embodiment of nursery rhymes, you could summon fucking Batman. Give me Batman.
That has to imply that Batman exists as like an actual like story character within the confines of Kanoku Nasu's, right?
Like there's Haagen-Dazs and Ghost. Sitters. There's probably Batman.
I was going to say that like because the Haagen-Dazs exists, there could be a possibility of Batman existing, but we do not know that for certain. However, there is a
let's do a Japanese character. Like what's a manga character that exists then? Like Goku or One Piece? Summon Luffy.
So see, that's the thing about copyright and why.
Well, I'm not saying that copyright. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, I could do this if I fucking wanted to.
If we do it in the context of like what we know, like if it was like if this shit existed IRL, technically you could. However, there are certain limitations to stuff like that. So, like, summoning someone as powerful as Superman, for example, there would be certain restrictions because
but you can still get freaking Superman.
But listen, there are but they get nerfed.
Yeah, I know. But still Superman.
You could, so you could technically get Superman, but it'd be significantly nerfed.
Maybe he won't have his alien superpowers, but he'd still just be a very strong fucking dude. So like, it's still Superman. It'll be like basically like realistic strength.
That depends because like when we get further into, I think I think it's actually the next episode of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. We get introduced to the Berserker class, and guess who the Berserker class is for Fate Stay Night?
Wolverine.
Hercules.
Oh.
And so he's gonna do some like strong shit there. So it's like there's like degrees.
Again, like, we don't necessarily know if Hercules was a real person in like history, and I don't know if he is in the lore of Fate Stay Night. But like, let's just say he's fictional.
Okay.
Like you can summon fucking Hercules. You can summon Batman.
Well, so like you said, like in the lore of Fate, at least, everything that is deity related is not fictional. Like they existed at one point.
I assume they're real because this is a world with magic. So okay, I guess they're real. But like, you can summon Cthulhu. Like, I think you can summon Batman. That doesn't seem like a stretch.
Not necessarily Cthulhu, but you can summon servants that are very eldritch horror based, basically. Yeah.
Just Pokemon Night Museum.
In some regards, it kind of is, and in some regards, it kind of isn't. It's like, God, how was like? That's kind of why they went with the cold gotcha game for Fate Grand Order, because like, you know, it's like all randomized, and you can get like one of any possible historical mythological figure as a playable character. So it's like, yeah. But like when they get into like the whole nursery rhyme stuff, like that's when they kind of like they jump the shark when it comes to like character introductions or character inclusions.
What does even nursery rhymes even look like? Is she just Mother Goose or some shit?
So if you unlock her as a character in the app game, she's just a floating book. But when you level,
it's fucking stupid.
Okay, so but there's actually a lore explanation.
You're telling me I could summon a book in Eldritch Horrors, but I can't summon Batman?
It kind of gets a little bit worse because
this is the fucking page master.
For how nursery works as a servant, it kind of is for her, because she can quite literally is actually cool with nursery rhyme, because she can actually summon things out of certain nursery rhymes, like the Jabberwocky, for example. She can summon that out of those books, and like pretty much she's basically like a beast summoner, if that makes sense with how she works. But it's actually very sad if learning the context and lore behind nursery rhyme, because she doesn't have a physical appearance necessarily. Like she's a book, yes, but like let me see if I can find the image real quick. Nursery rhyme Fates extra, because her master, she takes on the appearance of her master. But later on it gets really saddening, because here they are. Let me send this picture real quick. They literally look exactly alike, and there's a reason for that, and it's very, very sad and tragic.
I'm just gonna choose to believe she looks like this.
Actually, this image is actually more accurate to what I'm trying to represent. God damn it.
She's just like the fairy tale book and page master.
No, this picture is more accurate to what she looks like and what or the appearance that she adopts from, because her master is named Alice, Alice in Wonderland, and
it's not a nursery rhyme; it's a book, not even a fairy tale.
I'm getting to this. Her master named Alice was a very sick child that her parents tried everything to keep her alive, and so but what they ended up doing was they implanted her inside the moon cell of Fate X-Ray, the Matrix. They put her in the fucking Matrix to pretty much which turned her into basically last resort life support, basically.
And now I'm just imagining those like pods in the Matrix where they have all the humans plugged into, but just imagining one just having like a small book in it, just floating in the ooze.
No, it's not like that. It's more like
I know.
It's like it's like
just imagining that.
It's like
a slimy book.
They pretty much select masters the same way, similar to like how they do it in Fate Stay Night. But they do it inside a simulation where, like, similar to the Matrix. If you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. Where it's more, no one else dies in the fucking crossfire, if that makes sense. And so, oh goddamn fucking bot,
murder him.
And
normalize beating bots with hammers.
But basically, Nursery Rhyme adopts the appearance of Alice because her master is a lonely girl who dies off later on, and so her servant Nursery Rhyme, having adopted her appearance, also adopts her mannerisms, her personality. Basically, she's a servant who has fooled herself into thinking she's actually the master.
Like from Doctor Who?
No, like her master as in Alice, as in, like, master servant, basically.
Oh, dang.
So, unfortunately, yeah, it's a tragic story, and whenever we watch the Fate Extra Last Encore anime, it explains it a little bit better. But yeah, that's Nursery Rhyme. That's literally the caster class servant of Fate Extra.
Can I summon sci-fi?
No, but you do have characters or servants that have a sci-fi aesthetic, such as Mysterious Heroine X, who is an assassin class servant. So in Kinoku Nasu's works, he often likes to reuse certain facial structures, such as Saber from the original Fate Stay Night. So, like, you're going to see, like, a lot of characters that have the same face as hers. And so Mysterious Heroine X was a joke character that was designed to be a character that hunts down Saber faces. Which that's what all characters that share that Saber's facial structure is, or design, or appearance, is that they all look like Saber or Saber face. And the hilarious part is she's also a Saber face. I mean, does this character look like anyone you know? Her sword is literally also the same Saber.
Is this supposed to be like the King Arthur girl?
Yes, it is. Or not really, technically, because this is Mysterious Heroine X, the Saber face hunting Saber face, because she's also a Saber face because she also has the same fucking face. She's a gag character in a way. And what's hilarious too is that this is a sci-fi character. She has a sci-fi aesthetic to which her literal sword makes lightsaber sounds, and it glows blue too.
Based.
And then there's the
I summon Luke Skywalker.
Basically you summon Luke Skywalker, and want to know what's the hilarious part is? She has an evil alternate version called Mysterious Heroine X Alter, and she's also a Saber face, but her sword glows red this time.
Oh my god.
And it also makes lightsaber sounds as well.
It's
And
official art.
well, that isn't official art; it's fan art, but it's
Oh,
basic. It's basically what she looks like.
hey.
And what's hilarious too is that if you look into the bio of Mysterious Heroine X Alter, she
Mhm.
basically makes references to other media. Like one of her bios literally is a parody joke of the Infinity Stones,
Oh no.
but it's like the Infinity Mochi or Infinity Snacks. And like her final like design armor literally just looks like
Mhm.
Darth Vader armor basically.
Mhm. I know we have that like Star Wars Vision things. It's kind of surprising we don't have like a Star Wars anime.
You think, but like we're in the day and age where corporals are just allergic to
Mm.
money. You gotta remember that.
Kind of hope with that Star Wars Vision stuff, they could like maybe take the ones that were more popular and greenlight them into like a full series and actually make them canon.
Oh, you think, but like it's Disney, you so like good
Come
ideas
on, use them as a backdoor pilot. You have all those ideas, the shorts.
something.
What chips you eating?
Um, it's a Doritos late night loaded taco.
Mm,
It's basically like that, regular taco flavored Doritos, but like I don't know, it's got like a weird,
mm,
interesting tang to it.
mm.
But yeah, and then the thing about the mysterious heroine X characters is that they're from the far flung future.
Mm.
They're like far in the future, and you can summon them technically. And
How can you summon them if they're not written on the wall?
no, they are part of the Throne of Heroes. It's just that the Throne of Heroes, like I said, exists outside the concept of time and space. So space and time isn't
So is it like in
linear.
another
It's
dimension?
in another dimension. Yes.
So you like walk on a portal and you just like right in there. So
No,
theoretically,
no,
it's a
no.
time
So
machine.
it's like how no, it's like let's say for example you make a historical contribution to the world.
Yeah, yeah, I know what it is, but like, where is it? If it's like it's like in a different
It's like
universe.
a whole different dimension. Yes. It's like
So theoretically, if it's in a different dimension that's beyond time and space, someone from the past can walk in, someone from the future can walk in, and it's essentially like, oh, hi, past person, hi, future person. I'm just writing down something. Oh, me too. Can I see what the future's like? Yeah, sure, come on in.
it doesn't necessarily work like that where you can just like walk right in.
Well, then
Just
how do you write on it?
you have to make some kind of like historical contribution to the
Yeah, I
world.
know that, but how does someone write? Does it write the stuff itself?
Yeah, it writes itself. It does it itself.
Okay, so you can't. So it's just some magical concept that we can't actually go look at.
Kinda, sort of, yeah. It's similar to like the Akashic records, where like the Akashic records are basically knowing everything in the past, present, future, and all that shit, right?
Hmm.
Similar concept
But
with the Throne of
that's like a
Heroes.
physical. That kind of seems like a physical thing. This kind of seems like this is just. By the way, there's a pocket universe somewhere that we cannot access, and apparently, some mysterious force just writes people's names. But you can't. We can't actually see it. It just
If I
exists.
remember correctly,
Trust me, bro.
no, I if I remember correctly, it's in regards to Mother Earth, where
Hmm.
Mother Earth is essentially sentient, and if there's like certain specific threats to Earth, it creates the counterforce. The counterforce
Hmm.
then itself creates some kind of countermeasure to combat you in whatever dastardly deeds you are trying to do, which is what Araya kept on trying to avoid the entire time. Uh,
Hmm.
and in Fate Stay Night, you discover one of the characters in that series is a counterforce for one of the main bad guys.
Hmm.
And it all stems from the magic of Mother Earth trying to protect itself. So, and basically, it's the same regards where like the Throne of Heroes was created in regards of Mother Earth as well. If I remember, so like, let me look up Throne of Heroes real quickly as well, as to give you like a proper definition of what the fuck it is. Throne of Heroes, Fate, right there.
Because like the way it sounds, like I assumed it was like a Death Note kind of thing, or it's maybe not necessarily a physical book, but maybe like a wall you write on.
Okay, this person.
But now it just sounds like some sort of like cosmic thing that you can't actually like physically see. Just
Kinda.
basically the universe. It's just the universe.
Kinda. Because there is this thing called
So
the
you just have the fingers crossed I get written on it.
if you do good, basically. It like all depends, because like technically even like bad people even end up on the Throne of Heroes because you still make a significant contribution to the history of the world in some regard. That's why people like Ivan the Terrible even end up on the Throne of Heroes as well, even though he's fucking terrible.
Maybe they should rename it.
Even Vlad the Impaler is on Throne of Heroes like 3 different times.
I don't know. Maybe he spared someone. Like, you know what? That seems heroic enough.
Vlad the Impaler quite literally nailed some guy's turban to his head because he refused to take it off due to their religious beliefs in the presence of Vlad the Impaler.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler was not. Jack the fucking Ripper is on the Throne of Heroes. Twice. But yeah,
this reminds me of like the Minions movie where it's like how they like, oh, they have to serve the most evilest leader, but conveniently like they spend like most of their life in a cave, so that way they could like, so the writers would be like, okay, they skipped World War II. We're just to get that out of there. They were like a snow cave during World War II. So like Discovery's like, what happens in World War II? I think you mentioned there's like a flashback season, so I guess hopefully maybe that's they're like, okay, don't worry, they're not on there.
wait, what? Oh, wait, no. Which one was involved in World War II? There's like a manga of Fate where this one guy in like the 21st century gets sent back in time and he accidentally bumps into his grandmother of this era who is like the same age as him. So he's like meeting a pure version of his grandmother, but on top of that, he accidentally becomes a participant of the Holy Grail War of this era. So it was like it is really interesting perspective there, where like even the summoned servant spirit of Nobunaga quite literally defends Japan and prevents Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So like there's like certain things IRL that coincide with like our history and their history to a certain point. That's why there are like certain things you can infer like do or do not exist within the confines of the Nasuverse. Well, yeah, I'm trying to look up the Throne of Heroes specifically, but it seems that to most consensus, or because like there's a lot of things that people still don't understand, because even though there's all this like expansive media and stuff like games, novels, anime and shit, there's still like some things aren't even conclusive enough, because like the most consensus understanding that we have of what the Throne of Heroes is that in layman's terms, it's basically a hard drive that saves specific people who did certain deeds in the world that were, like I said, were notable enough to be engraved in history, literally. So we got Jack the Ripper. Oh, they're on there now. We got King Arthur. They're on there now. We got literally anything that is within the confines that is added to the confines of history. Is actually why I believe that Frankenstein's monster is a summonable servant and not Frankenstein themselves or Mary Shelley, the author of that as well.
And I can't get Batman.
Because Batman does not exist in the Nasuverse, as far as we know.
He might.
As far as we know, he does not.
Google it.
Does Batman exist in the Fate series? God damn it. I have a feeling that Urobuchi or Ufotable took inspiration from Batman. What? Oh, okay, never mind. They're talking about one of the fight scenes in Fate Zero. Yeah, that's an interesting theory. This better be literally the No, get the fuck out of here. That is not what that... Oh my god. So, there's a fight scene in Fate Zero, and it literally looks like, you know that underground scene in Batman Begins where Batman is testing all of his gadgets and shit? It's basically his, like... Yeah, so there's a fight scene, and the scenery looks like that. Like, I'll send you the picture.
Like the Morgan Freeman guy's, like, lab.
Yeah.
My god.
And then people's like, oh, Batman's confirmed in Nasuverse.
Yeah, there you go. I told you.
No, it's not!
What was the guy? What was the guy who's the Lucius Fox or something?
Yes.
If Morgan Freeman exists. This is in this universe. This takes place in Gotham. So
It doesn't even
checkmate.
take place.
Like, he's not even a fictional character. So, like, you can summon him. He's real. He's not even fictional. Give me Batman.
That fight doesn't even take place in Gotham. It takes place in, like, Japan still, I think.
Well, I mean, maybe it's like his, like, Japan facility, because, you know, like, a lot of stuff is, like, outsourced, you know, like, manufactured in Japan. I don't know.
Lucius Fox is, like, never referenced in any of Kanoko Nasu's work. I think that's just sheer fucking coincidence. Or homage.
Every time I give exposition, I gain a gnome freckle.
Another freckle. So yeah, basic explanation and definition of a heroic spirit is heroic spirits as legendary souls are spirits of heroes who achieved great deeds in life, having become objects of worship after their deaths.